Imagine Elise, a 10-year-old girl in her poster-plastered bedroom, contemplating whether to stay home or go to school because of a severe lack of materials and knowledge of what's happening to her body. She uses anything she can find, toilet paper, a towel, a sock, and calls her mom in a rushed panic as she heads downstairs. She's raised to think that menstrual hygiene products are a luxury, that if she reaches out for help, she'll be chastised and made a laughingstock. She watches as her mother run around the house to get ready for her second job of the day, while Elise feeds her siblings. 4 mouths to feed, 3 jobs, and no time for herself, her mother rushes out the door. The now young woman mumbles a mere bye and lays back in bed, clutching her stomach. After a week of missing school, she walks back into class, only to be flooded with questions. And she spews out a series of excuses, confused and embarrassed about the monthly cycle that she will now experience for the next 30 or 40 years. Period poverty, a topic unknown to most people. In fact, I as well was unaware of this issue until this past summer, when I learned about girls my own age, and even younger, routinely missing school simply because they could not afford menstrual products. According to the NGO Femme International, periods are the #1 reason why girls miss school in developing countries. In Kenya, girls miss an average of 4 days of school per month, adding up to almost 20% of the school year. How are girls supposed to succeed when they miss that much school and are at risk of toxic shock syndrome and cancer due to a lack of access to products? Of course, missing up to a week of school or more each month, or even dropping out altogether, will put these young women at a disadvantage when it comes to schooling. Without proper education, the gender equality gap expands. The pool of jobs open to them shrinks, and the probability that they will end up married before the age of 18 reportedly increases 3-fold, according to the NGO Girls Not Brides. Furthermore, in a society where jokes about flatulence and bowel movements have inspired entire books, menstruation persists as a taboo subject. The stigma that menstruation has evoked leaves the critical topic of menstrual equity largely unaddressed in America, and not much action has been focused on improving it. Around the world, there is increasing awareness and demand for solutions to the burden of menstrual inequity. Yet in America, this crisis has never had an official debut. The United Nations has already declared menstrual hygiene a public health, gender equality, and human rights issue, and it's time for America to speak up about the fact that hundreds of menstruators lack it. Menstruation is a globally shared experience. Women everywhere are familiar with first period stories, and most women know the clenching pain of period cramps. So why are periods such a hush topic? Why is a necessary biological function experienced by half of the global population considered gross? From a young age, girls are trained not to talk about their periods due to myths that menstruation is dirty and even shameful. Because of this stigma, people resort to using a plethora of euphemisms like time of the month and Aunt Flo, instead of mentioning the words period or menstruation. And if this subject is not addressed, girls and women will not have the confidence that every human deserves to reach their full potential. Yet the skyrocketing amount of money that women spend to acquire proper menstrual products makes it difficult for this to happen. Menstrual products are a $2 billion industry in the United States alone, and the average American woman will use over around 17,000 tampons and pads in her lifetime. For them and the millions of other young girls and women around the world, this is as necessary as toilet paper, yet they're required to pay a sales tax for them, while supplies such as Viagra and condoms are exempt from this tax because they are considered drugs. While menstrual products are a necessity for girls and women, these taxes act as a punishment. For women that can't afford them, there are higher risks of diseases such as cervical cancer and urinary tract infection due to poor menstrual hygiene. Studies in India show that most girls wash and reuse cotton cloth rather than disposable pads, and that cleaning is often done without soap or with unclean water. and drying takes place indoors rather than in open air or in sunlight due to social restrictions and taboos. The same report stated that these problems are found to be particularly prominent amongst women and girls in lower income settings, and that the burden of reproductive tract infection is especially widespread in low-income groups. The taboo around menstruation also negatively impacts mental health. The fear of talking about menstruation starts from a young age, and for me, that was 5th grade. I'm sure you all remember your first health class. The boys in one room and the girls in another. In the boys' room, they talk about how their voices might get deeper as a result of the hormone testosterone. And in the girls' room, they talk about periods, hold up a pad, and demonstrate how to use it. And meanwhile, in the boys' room, periods are never mentioned. And so girls are left to believing that periods are a subject that should only be talked about with other girls, if even brought up in the first place. Suddenly, they're emotionally overwhelmed, confused about new mood swings, and worried about bleeding through their clothes. They're scared to the point where taking a pad to the restroom almost becomes a crime. The ability to access menstrual products affects a person's freedom to work and study, to be healthy, and to only participate in daily life with basic dignity. And if this access is compromised, whether by poverty, stigma, or lack of education and resources, it should be in all of our interests to ensure that those needs are met. So how can we make a change right now? I believe that it starts with being accepting and acknowledging the power of language, and that starts with all the ladies out there. Don't think of your periods as something that makes you a weaker and perhaps less worthy person. Yes, it's uncomfortable, and it can be a hassle at times, but you're more powerful because of it. And to all the gentlemen out there, don't make derogatory comments. If the lady in your life is on her period, I don't expect you to run to the grocery store and buy her a pack of pads, although that would be very sweet. But be loving, be supportive, be understanding. And if you want to help, reach out to organizations that are working to break this stigma and provide menstrual products for all women regardless of their backgrounds. But for now, simply begin. Create safe spaces. Talk to people about the need for menstrual equity. Ask others, why are we afraid of talking about something so normal? By acting together on this issue, we can improve the lives of millions of women worldwide. Thank you.